Good evening. This is the first night of our Vasa talks, and we're going to continue with the Majjhima Nikaya. But I'd like to say, before we go into these suttas, that new Samaneras, you should know that on the store there, the notice, you see the yellow colored notice as instructions for new monks and new Samaneras. So when you're free, you go and read there. Gives you instructions about going on alms round and proper conduct and all these things. So every day you all go and read and get to know how to conduct yourselves. Now we go into the suttas. Last year I read the Majjhima Nikaya suttas up to sutta number 14. So tonight we are going to begin with sutta number 15. One thing I like to say is that I'm going to go through these suttas very fast because of time limitation. Every night probably have to do 2 or 3 suttas, or even sometimes 4 suttas. So because of that, I'm not going to have enough time to explain in great detail these suttas. And these talks that I am giving is just introduction to you all on these suttas. And if you listen to these talks and at the same time look at the books, then you will understand better. In fact, I see many of you without the books. You should have come here prepared with the books. Last year when we did the Samyutta Nikaya, a lot of people had the books ready. So maybe later you can get the books. You can ask somebody, your relative or somebody, to get the book. So if you find that these talks are not so detailed, then you should understand it's because of time constraint. When I did the first Nikaya, the Anguttara Nikaya, I only gave one talk of 1 hour per week. So I had a whole week to prepare. But now, every night I have to give the talks. So I have to prepare the talks either in the morning or in the afternoon. So I don't have much time. Okay, now we come to Sutta number 15, Majjhima Nikaya. It's called the Anumana Sutta. Inference, that's the title. We're using this book by Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi. The only thing is sometimes some of the words I'm not so happy, I change a bit. Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Venerable Mahamoggallana was living in the Bhaga country at Sumaragira in the Besakala Grove, the deer park. There he addressed the monks thus. Friends, monks, friend, they replied. The Venerable Mahamoggallana said this. Friends, though a monk asks thus, let the Venerable Ones admonish me. I need to be admonished by the Venerable Ones. Yet if he is difficult to admonish and possesses qualities that make him difficult to admonish, if he is impatient and does not take instruction rightly, then his companions in the holy life think that he should not be admonished or instructed. They think of him as a person not to be trusted. I stop here for a moment. Mahamoggallana is one of the very senior disciples of the Buddha. So sometimes he gives Dharma talks to the other monks. The translation here, this friend is avuso. During the Buddha's time, the monks address each other as avuso. Sometimes it's translated as friend, like here. Sometimes it's translated as venerable. So, or reverend. So here Venerable Mahamoggallana says, even though sometimes a monk asks to be admonished, to be told his faults, But if he has qualities that make him difficult to admonish, then the other monks would be reluctant to admonish him. If he is impatient, does not take instruction rightly, so since it is difficult to admonish him, other monks will not want to admonish him. Now in the Vinaya books, in the Mahavagga chapter 1, when a new monk comes to train under a teacher, because a new monk is supposed to spend 5 years under a teacher, and if he possesses certain qualities, the teacher is supposed to dismiss him, throw him out. If he possesses 1 of 5 qualities, one is he does not have much faith in the teacher. Number 2, he does not have much respect for the teacher. Number 3, he does not have much affection for the teacher. Number 4, he does not have a sense of shame towards the teacher. Not much sense of shame towards the teacher. Number 5, he does not have much development or progress under the teacher. And the teacher is supposed to chase him away, dismiss him. So that's why, if a certain monk is difficult to admonish, then others will not admonish him. Now the sutta continues. What qualities make him difficult to admonish? Here a monk has evil wishes and is dominated by evil wishes. This is a quality that makes him difficult to admonish. Again, a monk lauds himself and disparages others. This is a quality that makes him difficult to admonish. 3. Again, a monk is angry and is overcome by anger. Number 4, a monk is angry and revengeful. Number 5, a monk is angry and stubborn. Number 6, a monk is angry and utters words bordering on anger. Number 7, a monk is reproved and he resists the reprover. Number 8, a monk is reproved and he denigrates the reprover. Number 9, a monk is reproved and he counter-reproves the reprover. Number 10, a monk is reproved and he prevaricates, leads the talk aside and shows anger, hate and bitterness. Number 11, a monk is reproved and he fails to account for his conduct. Number 12, a monk is contemptuous and domineering. 13, a monk is envious and avaricious. 14, a monk is fraudulent and deceitful. 15, a monk is obstinate and arrogant. 16, a monk adheres to his own views, holds on to them tenaciously, and relinquishes them with difficulty. This is a quality that makes him difficult to admonish. Monks, friends, these are called the qualities that make him difficult to admonish. Stop here for a while. So here there are 16 qualities that make a monk difficult to admonish. Number 1, he has evil wishes. Maybe he desires to be famous. He wants fame or any other evil wish. Number 2, he lauds himself, praises himself and puts down others, disparages others. Ego. Number 3, the monk is angry. He cannot control, overcome by anger, cannot control his temper. Number 4, a monk is angry and revengeful. If you admonish him, he might want to take revenge. Number 5, a monk is angry and stubborn. Stubborn, probably doesn't want to change. Number 6, a monk is angry and utters words bordering on anger. So he speaks angry words back. Number 7, the monk is reproved and he resists the reprover. Tries to defend himself, does not want to admit. Number 8, a monk is reproved and he denigrates the reprover. So when you admonish him, he talks bad about you. Number 9, a monk is reproved and he counter-reproves the reprover. So you tell him his fault, he'll tell you back your fault. 10, a monk is reproved and he prevaricates and leads the talk aside and shows anger, hate and bitterness. So when you tell him his fault, he speaks or acts evasively. Number 11, a monk is reproved and he fails to account for his conduct. He does not want to account for his failings. 12, a monk is contemptuous and domineering, arrogant, domineering. 13, envious and avaricious, extremely greedy, will not change. 14, fraudulent and deceitful. This one is very important. If a disciple is fraudulent and deceitful, he doesn't want to show his faults to the teacher, then the teacher cannot make him improve. A person who wants to learn, who wants to improve, progress on the spiritual path, he has got to be very straightforward. Whatever faults he has got to expose them to the teacher, not be deceitful. 15, obstinate and arrogant, stubborn and haughty. 16, adheres to his own views, holds on to them tenaciously, will not change his views. You tell him his wrong views, he will not change. So these are the qualities. If a monk possesses these qualities, then his companions in the holy life would not want to admonish him because he doesn't want to be admonished, he doesn't want to improve. And Venerable Mahamoggallana continues. Friends, though a monk does not ask thus, let the Venerable Ones admonish me. I need to be admonished by the Venerable Ones. Yet if he is easy to admonish and possesses qualities that make him easy to admonish, if he is patient and takes instruction rightly, then his companions in the holy life think that he should be admonished and instructed, and they think of him as a person to be trusted. What qualities make him easy to admonish? Here a monk has no evil wishes and is not dominated by evil wishes. This is a quality that makes him easy to admonish. Again, a monk does not laud himself nor disparage others. Number 3, he is not angry nor allows anger to overcome him. 4, he is not angry or revengeful. 5, not angry or stubborn. 6, not angry and does not utter words bordering on anger. 7, when reproved, he does not resist the reprover. When reproved, he does not denigrate the reprover. When reproved, he does not counter-reprove. He is reproved and he does not prevaricate, lead the talk aside and show anger, hate and bitterness. When reproved, he does not fail to account for his conduct, as he explains himself. 12, he is not contemptuous or domineering. 13, he is not envious or avaricious. 14, he is not fraudulent or deceitful. 15, he is not obstinate or arrogant. Again, a monk does not adhere to his 16. He does not adhere to his own views or hold on to them tenaciously, and he relinquishes them easily. This is a quality that makes him easy to admonish. Friends, these are called the qualities that make him easy to admonish. Stop here for a moment. So here the converse, if a monk is easy to admonish, makes himself admonishable, then other monks observes that he is willing to be reproved, willing to change, then the other monks will want to help him and tell him his faults. Now friends, a monk ought to infer about himself in the following way. 1. A person with evil wishes and dominated by evil wishes is displeasing and disagreeable to me. If I were to have evil wishes and be dominated by evil wishes, I would be displeasing and disagreeable to others. A monk who knows this should arouse his mind thus: I shall not have evil wishes and be dominated by evil wishes. Similarly, for the other qualities, he thinks if a person has these evil qualities, then he is displeasing, and if he himself has these qualities, he is also displeasing to the others. So he changes, does not allow himself to have these evil qualities. So for a person to change himself, first he has to acknowledge he has these faults. If a person is not willing to admit your faults, you will never improve. So when another person tells you your fault, you should not try to defend yourself, but in the Buddha's teachings, we should be willing to accept criticism, to consider whether what people say about us is reasonable or not. And he continues, now friends, a monk should review himself thus, do I have evil wishes, and am I dominated by evil wishes? If when he reviews himself he knows, I have evil wishes, I am dominated by evil wishes, then he should make an effort to abandon those evil, unwholesome states. But if, when he reviews himself, he knows, I have no evil wishes, I am not dominated by evil wishes, then he can abide happy and glad, training day and night in wholesome states. Again, a monk should review himself thus, do I praise myself and disparage others? Do I adhere to my own views, hold on to them tenaciously, etc.? So when he reviews himself, then he knows that he does not have, if he has these evil qualities, then he should make an effort to abandon those unwholesome states. And if he does not have them, then he can be happy and glad, training day and night to develop wholesome states and abandon unwholesome states. Friends, when a monk reviews himself thus, if he sees that these evil, unwholesome states are not all abandoned in himself, then he should make an effort to abandon them all. But if when he reviews himself thus, he sees that they are all abandoned in himself, then he can abide happy and glad, training day and night in wholesome states. This is when a woman or a man, young, youthful, fond of ornaments, on viewing the image of her own face in a clear, bright mirror, or in a basin of clear water, sees a smudge or a blemish on it, she makes an effort to remove it. But if she sees no smudge or blemish on it, she becomes glad thus. It is a gain for me that it is clean. So too, when a monk reviews himself thus, then he can abide happy and glad, training day and night in wholesome states. This is what the Venerable Mahamoggallana said. The monks were satisfied and delighted in the Venerable Mahamoggallana's words. That's the end of the sutta. So here you see a senior monk like the Venerable Mahamoggallana, he's trying to advise the younger monks how to improve themselves. There's one thing very good about these suttas. They're all very practical, and if you study them and you find that you can use them to improve yourself and progress on the spiritual path. This is what the spiritual path is about, to change our character for the better. Even if you are not a monk, you're for lay people, if you change yourself for the better, then you find that your life is well lived. At the end of your life, when you are about to pass away, then you don't have remorse, you don't be depressed about yourself.